private sector workers, along with various community groups, marched through Dublin today in protest against the government's proposed cuts. Representatives from the business community said that public service workers need to face up to the reality of the country's current financial situation.
Well, we feel that this is very unwarranted, and not alone will it disrupt, obviously, the retail sector and the city centre, but in many cases other people trying to get to and from the city. We feel that these sort of modes and strikes are an outdated concept, and that really what's needed is for everybody to accept the facts and the reality that we are now €26 billion in deficit. We have to borrow €500 million a week to pay the wages, and that's simply unsustainable.
Frontline emergency workers say they are not responsible for the economic problems and feel the wrong people will be targeted in the December 9th budget.
We're being used as a scapegoat to divert attention away from the failings of the government and the failings of the government to deal with the real culprits, which are the bankers. And I know this term bankers is bandied around as if it's some sort of, guy, fat cat sitting in an office somewhere. But in terms of the bankers' failings, these people who did these things either got a golden handshake pension or are still in the job, which is even worse.
The government has already said they need to cut €1.3 billion from the public sector payroll. Union leaders have refused to accept any pay cuts and want the government to consider an alternative way out for the 300,000 state workers. ICTU General Secretary David Begg questioned how far the government are willing to cut the public sector.
There's just one question for the Irish people to consider and ultimately to determine. And that question is this: is there or is there not a threshold of decency below which we will not go in confronting our economic troubles?
Over 70,000 people marched through Dublin today to answer the ICTU's call for a fairer, better way. Thousands of others gathered in 7 other locations throughout Ireland to give what David Begg of ICTU called a bloody nose to Taoiseach Brian Cowan. Union officials say they won't back down, and another day of official action is planned for November 24th. Helen Doyle, ITV News, Dublin.